The best cardio to lose fat. I've been able to undergo multiple transformations, and each and every single year, going through a bulking phase and a cutting phase, I've been able to achieve this transformation of going from roughly 30% body fat to single-digit body fat, and even becoming a men's physique champion has become easier and easier because of the cardio routine that I've been able to utilize. Not only that, my clients have seen similar results like Nicholas, who've lost their entire belly fat in 4 weeks as a result of the cardio that we've utilized. And in this video, using all the experience that I've gained myself over the last decade and literally all the thousands of clients that I've coached, I will be sharing with you what is the best cardio routine to follow so you can achieve the similar result. Let's not waste any time. Let's dive straight into tip number 1. Is cardio as effective as we think it is? Usually we think that the more calories we burn, the more active we have to be, and the answer is no. A recent study challenged this common belief that the more exercise we do will always lead to burning more calories, which is why cardio is everyone's go-to for weight loss. But it's not that straightforward. Researchers looked at how much energy people are burning during different levels of physical activity, and they found that when people start to exercise, they do burn more calories. However, after reaching a certain level of activity, the body adjusts and starts to conserve energy. This is what we call downregulating your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So even if you exercise a lot, you might not burn as many calories as you think after a specific point. This finding tells us that exercise alone might not be the best way to lose weight. Our bodies can adapt to higher levels. It's like a car that starts to use less fuel when it's been on a long journey. It becomes more efficient. So the more you burn through cardio, the more your body tries to conserve your energy throughout the rest of your day subconsciously. Your body also is a very efficient machine. I'm sure you've heard the saying, a moment on your lips, a lifetime on your hips, and that's very true. The main reason why you can never outwork a bad diet is because it'll take you 3 minutes to eat a bar of Kit Kat. And to burn those calories off, it's going to take you about 15 to 20 minutes to burn that off on the treadmill. Have 2 bars of that Kit Kat. That's 4 minutes, and it's going to take you 30 minutes on the treadmill. So first of all, before you even consider doing any sort of cardiovascular exercise, you need to have your diet in check. You need to be consistent and you need to be disciplined. And once you have that in check, then you can add cardio as an extra tool. And this is what research shows as what is the best way to lose fat. In a 2019 study, 200 overweight and obese individuals participated in a 24-week exercise program, and they wanted to explore why exercise alone often results in less weight loss than expected. They found that while exercise increased energy expenditure, participants compensated by eating more, leading to less weight loss than predicted. This study suggests that reducing food intake might be a more effective method for weight loss than solely relying on exercise. It highlights the need for strategies to manage the increase in food intake that often accompanies exercising in a weight loss program. This is exactly why when you train, you feel so much hungrier, and if you don't have anything to be able to control that, it's almost naught. So the next question, what is the best way to lose fat? A very recent systemic review published 7 months ago tried to answer this question, and it asked the question, what is the golden ticket to fat loss? The study reviewed 92 studies, and it looked at various factors determining the most effective way to lose body fat, retain muscle mass and lower that body mass index, and also reduce the waist circumference. This is the holy grail. The methods were grouped into 12 categories, including everything from no intervention, doing nothing at all, to specific strategies like calorie restriction, right, cutting calories, high protein diets, intermittent fasting, and various forms of exercises, including resistance training, aerobic workouts, and a combination of both. And you might be thinking that doing lots of cardio or calorie cuts alone is the most effective way, but the study says otherwise. And as you can see in the ranking of this photo, energy restriction combined with resistance training is the most effective way to reduce all the factors mentioned. If you take a closer look, you'll see that energy restriction alone comes in 7th, and cardio alone comes in just before no intervention. It's almost as good as doing nothing. So the answer for the golden ticket to fat loss and retaining muscle mass or even increasing it is always a combo method. Another study investigated how different types of exercise can help obese older adults to lose weight while avoiding losing muscle mass and bone mass during weight loss. Involving 160 people, the study compared the effects of adding aerobic training, resistance training, or both weight training management programs versus no exercise at all. The main goal was to see how these methods affected the participants' physical performance over 6 months. The results? It showed that combining aerobic and resistance training was the most most effective. The group saw a 21% improvement in their physical performance, more than those who just did aerobic or resistance training. Additionally, those who combined exercise improved their oxygen consumption. It's a sign of better cardiovascular health as much as the aerobic-only group and increased their strength as much as the resistance-only group. All exercise groups lost about 9% of their body weight, but those who did aerobic and resistance training together lost less muscle mass, which is what we want, and had a smaller decrease in bone density compared to the aerobic-only group. It's Black Friday week. If you finally want to be able to take advantage and work with me and have me control your entire cardio routine, building out your diet, your training, and finally being able to see your six-pack for once in your life, it's 2024. You're done making excuses. You've tried everything yourself and you haven't seen success. I want to work with highly motivated individuals. If you're a busy professional who's taking care of a lot of people, it's finally time you take care of yourself. I highly recommend you fill out the short questionnaire in the description of this video. It'll take about 4 minutes to fill out completely. You'll then get a link to book a call with myself and my team so we can figure out how we can best help you and see what format and what formula we want to utilize to be able to get you the best transformation. But let's move on into the next question so the big question is, can you lose fat through only doing cardio? Yes, you can. It is possible, but it will take so much more effort than energy restriction in order to create a negative energy balance. Just think about it like this. Would you rather just skip a meal, which takes you 0 minutes, or run for 45 minutes? Of course, the calorie cut is easier. A clinical trial of 141 participants was done to see if regular aerobic exercise without dieting could lead to weight loss in overweight and obese men and women. The study focused solely on exercise. Participants were divided into 3 groups, and they were either told to exercise enough to burn 400 or 600 calories per session, or not to exercise at all. They did this for 5 days a week for 10 months and were not asked to change their diet. So nothing else changed besides how many calories they were burning in their sessions. The results showed that both exercise groups lost weight, about 3.9 kgs for the 400 calorie group and 5.2 kgs for the 600 calorie group, while the non-exercise group actually gained 0.5% of their body weight. So the amount of weight loss was not significantly different between the 2 exercise groups or between men and women in each group. So this does suggest that regular exercise can lead to noticeable weight loss regardless of your gender. So if you want to create a caloric deficit through cardio instead of dieting, yes, you can still lose weight in this way, but the effect is limited. As with time, your body does try to adapt and it will conserve energy, and it's not sustainable for most people. So how much cardio should you actually do? The answer is it depends. The way I like to go about it is I like to drip feed cardio. Number one is because fatigue is a very real thing. If you do too much cardio too quickly, you will fatigue, especially when you're coming into the beginning of a transformation. Like I said, it took you a while to gain weight. It's going to take you a while to lose that weight. So if you start doing 1 hour cardio sessions for 60 minutes and you're doing it 6 times in a week, the likelihood that you fatigue and that it's unsustainable is very, very high. So I always recommend starting very little, right, at 8,000 steps minimum, and in terms of the frequency, you can do 3 sessions at minimum of formal cardio at 20 minutes. Now, another question that I commonly get, hey Dr. Mike, can you lose fat without cardio? And the answer is yes, you can. Diet alone or resistance training alone can both lead to fat loss, but energy restriction alone can lead to muscle loss, and resistance training alone can be too slow. A combination of diet restriction and resistance training is a powerful combination. You can target 1 pound of fat loss per week with only energy restriction and resistance training without the need of cardio. A 12-year-long study looked at data from 10,500 men to find out what is the most effective when it comes to waist circumference and lowering your body weight, cardio or your weight training. They concluded that participants who increased the amount of time spent weight training each day by 20 minutes had less gain in their waistline compared to the men who increased their moderate to vigorous aerobic exercise by the same amount of time. The study showed that weight training, as compared to cardio alone, had the most significant impact in terms of reducing belly fat in middle-aged men. This is another significant advantage of weightlifting. It serves as this protective shield against regaining the fat. So for example, if 2 people both reach their weight goal and finally have a flat belly, the one who's weight training is less likely to regain the fat. That makes sense, right? So if you're weightlifting, you're already somehow immune to regaining the fat. So when's the best time to lose cardio? In my experience with all the clients I've ever worked with who are very busy, the morning is probably the best time to do it. Anecdotally, with everyone I've ever worked with, getting it done in the morning, in the first thing in the morning, has this endorphin effect. You end up feeling a lot more productive and you end up having a lot more energy to your surprise of tackling all the other tasks in your day. But this is what research has to say about when is the actual best time to do cardio. This study explored whether the time of the day when overweight or obese young adults exercise affects your weight loss. Participants were divided into groups based on their exercise timing: early morning, late afternoon, sporadically, or not at all, the control group. And after a 10-month exercise program, the early X group lost significantly more weight, 7.2%, compared to the late group who only lost 2.1%, and the control group. There were no major differences between the groups in total energy expenditure, food intake, or non-exercise activity levels. The finding suggests that exercising early in the morning might be more effective for weight loss, although the exact reason remains unclear. A 2020 study investigated how anticipation of exercise affects energy intake. 20 active participants were involved in both exercise and rest trials. They were allowed to eat as much as they wanted for breakfast and lunch, then either exercise for an hour in cycling or running, or rested in the afternoon. Their appetite and food intake were measured throughout the entire day. The results showed that the participants ate much more at lunch when they knew that they would be exercising later, but their breakfast and dinner intakes were similar to both exercise and rest days. Despite eating more at lunch on exercise days, the overall food intake over 24 hours was about the same for both trials. However, because they burned more calories on exercise days, their net energy intake, the total food intake minus the energy spent on exercise or rest, was actually lower on these days. The study concludes that while people tend to eat more before exercise, this increase is not enough to offset the calories burned during the exercise. This means that aerobic exercise can lead to a net reduction in energy balance compared to just resting. And the common question, hey Dr. Mike, so when I finish my transformation, is that it? And this is exactly what happened to me after 2017. It was the first time I finally got able to see my six-pack, and I was like, you know what, I made it. And I went on the seafood diet, and at that time doing calorie challenges was amazing. But this is why I say it's important that we develop a lifestyle around this, because what happens with most people is the method that they got to seeing their six-pack is the method that they abandon once they get it. And once you stop doing it, you lose it. So if you're doing 1 hour of running each and every single day, it's very unlikely you'll be able to do that for the rest of your life. So it's highly recommended that when you're going through a program with anybody, the question should be, can you do this realistically each and every single day? And if it's not, rather not waste your time in the first place. So with training, the minimum is 3 sessions, the max is 6. If you can only do 3, then only do 3 and keep that consistent. With your steps, try and see what is the realistic amount of steps that you can do. If you guys want me to make a video where I show you all the little tips and tricks and hacks I do, I even get as high as 30,000 steps. Yesterday I got 27,000. Leave the video the gentle thumbs up if you want me to make that video of how many steps I'm able to hit and how I'm able to hit 30,000. You may be able to take away a lot of the tips to be able to do that. A study looked at how much exercise helps in keeping the weight off after losing it. The researchers followed 32 women who had recently reached their weight loss goals. They measured the women's total energy expenditure and their resting metabolic rate to see how active they were. The women were divided into 3 groups based on their physical activity: physically active, moderately active, and sedentary. They found that after 12 months, the physically active woman, who had the higher TEE compared to the RMR, only gained a little weight back, about 2.5 kgs on average, while the moderately active and sedentary woman gained more weight, 9.9 kgs and 7 kgs respectively. This difference was significant. The study also tried to figure out how much exercise is needed to keep the weight off, and they found that maintaining weight, you need to burn about 11 calories per kilogram of body weight per day. This is like doing 80 minutes of moderate exercise or 35 minutes of vigorous exercise every day if you otherwise are not very active. So the study shows that being physically active is really important for keeping the weight off after you lose it. The more active you are, the better your chances are of not gaining the weight back. But it doesn't have to be cardio. If you keep on lifting weight consistently after reaching your goal and combining it with 1 to 2 sessions of your favorite sport per week. And once you're able to have this more so as a lifestyle and it's just something you do subconsciously, it's a byproduct of your day, you will see that maintaining that six-pack and maintaining your newfound physique is very easy. And this is exactly why all the clients that I ever worked with are still in shape till today, because we've implanted formats that is now a part of their lifestyle. they actually feel weird or sick when they don't do it. And that's the same feeling that you want to get. So I'll leave the video there. Let me know what you guys think. How much cardio are you doing in this particular time? What is your favorite form of cardio? I think if you guys can share with people in the comment section down below, it will give people an idea of what they want to do moving into 2024. Again, if you want to work with me, there is a Black Friday sale. It's only for the week of this video. Fill out the questionnaire, book a call. We'll be able to chat, see how we can best help you. Leave the video the gentle thumbs up if you want that video on the steps routine. And also, these two videos are amazing in terms of cardio. So see you guys in the next one. Cheers.